How to respond to photography clients. Do you find yourself getting more leads in your business, but you're not sure how you're supposed to respond to them? Or are you worried about marketing because when you start getting leads in, you're not sure how to respond to them? Well, I got you covered with this video. I'm gonna give you my 3 biggest tips to creating effective, efficient responses so you can turn more leads into paying clients. And the number 3 one is the most important. I mean, they're all really important, but number 3 is really gonna tie this together, so do not check out early.
It's showtime.
Hello, I am Mike Lloyd. I run a multi-6-figure photo studio in Silicon Valley, California, and I love marketing. And I love talking to people. It's kind of why I do this. I want to be around the people. I built websites for a while after college, and to sit in my room and write code all day by myself, ripped my soul out of my body. I hated it. Now I get to hang out with people all the time and have really great conversations and make good connections. That's magic. That's kind of what we want to do with our responses to any inquiries, is begin that process. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to give you my 3 biggest tips. First one, reply on the platform they contacted you from. The second one, use this opportunity to pre-screen your leads. And number 3, sound like a human. Okay, so what does any of this mean? Number 1, respond from the platform they contacted you from. If you have an email form on your website and people contact you through that, then respond through email. Don't shoot them a text. Don't invite them to contact you on Instagram or TikTok, Messenger. I don't know what that's called. But the point is, keep the conversation where they initiated. Because if somebody doesn't have an Instagram account and you're like, hey, just shoot me a DM over on Instagram and I'd be happy to set up a chat with you, they're like, well, I'm not even on Instagram, so I'm not going to bother even replying. Keep them in the same place. Make it really easy for people to continue the conversation. They've told you how they want to communicate with you by choosing that channel. It's the same reason we have a contact form, but also a phone number and also an email address on our website. Because somebody looks at a form and they're like, no, I don't want to fill out a form. No one ever responds to forms. Those just go into the internet garbage dump. So they don't, even though you're like, no, but I really do respond to every form inquiry that comes in. You can put your email address or your phone number on there. Maybe they want to call you or text you. If you are open to those forms of communications, if you don't want to do anything via text or phone call, that's cool too. Have email next to your contact form. Same thing goes with social media. If they send you a message on Facebook or on Instagram, message them there first a couple of times before you invite them elsewhere. Because the whole point of this is to get them onto a phone consultation so that we can book them as a client. But just like when you ask somebody out on a date, you don't walk up to a stranger and say, hey, do you want to grab dinner on Friday? And they're like, you don't even know my name, right? You need to get those intermediate steps before you can go for a bigger ask. And that's where you do it. All right, number 2, and this one is super effective, so I'm glad you stuck around. Pre-screen your clients. We are messaging them to find out if they're a good fit, just like they're messaging us to find out if we're a good fit. So there are things that you can look out for, and you'll start to recognize these patterns. So if I run an ad campaign for, say, half off session fees for this weekend only, I'm going to get a ton of responses. And when I do this, let's say I use Facebook Messenger, because I love using Messenger ads. It's my favorite way to run ads. And that's a whole other video right there. Or boudoirguild.com, you can see exactly how I do it. So with Messenger ads, when they click on the ad, Messenger opens up and it gives them a prompt. It can be like hey, thanks for clicking on my post, or hey, what inspired you to reach out? Whatever the thing is, I'm asking them something very small just to get them to reply, because I don't see who clicks on the ad unless they actually reply. So it's got to be small, it's got to be easy, it has to be unintrusive, it can't be anything salesy. I just want to get the conversation going. And I can always tell who is not going to be my right client right away, because the question will be, hey, thanks for clicking on my ad. What inspired you to reach out about a photo shoot? And some people will tell me what inspired them, and that's great. We'll keep a conversation going. And other people will say, hey, I want pics. How much? And I'm like, well, you're not my client. And I just delete the conversation. Because if somebody can't even use, punctuation for one, or answer my question because it doesn't sound like a robot wrote it, it's a real person, then I don't even want to continue that conversation. Also, if the first thing out of their mouth is, I want pics, how much? I don't provide pics. That's not what I do. So just using that language and asking how much, we're not looking for the same things. And that's fine. That's why we advertise to more than one person. So you get out of the scarcity mindset of everybody who's willing to give me money is my client. That's a recipe for disaster. But instead, how do I get more of the right clients? And this process will help you screening your leads in order to have phone calls with the right people to then book the right kinds of clients. Because 10 bad leads might lead to one decent phone call, which could lead to one booking, or 5 good leads could lead to 5 phone calls, which could lead to 3 or 4 bookings. So you can do less work in the long run and make more money. I think that's a win right there. Another way to do this, on your contact form, you could have what is your desired investment, or how much are you willing to invest? Play with the wording on that. And actually put different prices there in the contact form as a drop down. So they have their name, their phone number, their email, and then this question. How much are you willing to invest in your photo shoot? And you could have 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000 and above. Just putting something like that tells somebody they're going to spend at least $1,000. And that's going to scare away some people. Great. They weren't your client. This is serious. I'm going to invest in myself. Not how much does it cost, but how much do I invest in myself? And they'll answer the question. It almost doesn't even matter where they answer. It does a little bit. But the idea is that they see how much you're going to cost and they continue the process. Same thing goes when I'm messaging people or you respond to emails. You can send them a pre-written message that's maybe only a couple sentences long. Hey, so stoked you're excited for this. Let's set up a quick phone call. Just a couple quick things first. This is normally the timeline, so if you need your photos within 4 to 6 weeks, we got to work something out. Most of my clients plan to spend this. I have print and digital packages available, and just give them a couple sentences of basic information, but that will tell them they're not just walking in the door to take a few photos for $100 and then they get everything on a CD. That's what we're having this conversation for, is to disqualify those types of clients and get the other ones really excited. All right, and then number 3, like I said, ties everything together. Nothing else is gonna work if you ignore this one. You need to sound as human as possible while making it as replicable as possible. What does that mean? Everything that I write out sounds like I'm having a conversation with my client. But I also don't want to handwrite every single message and email and communication that I send with my clients. So I can write templates. And this has saved me so much time. My CRM does it. My Facebook Messenger does it. I have templates everywhere. Because when somebody emails me to ask about doing a shoot, I have probably one of 5 templates that will answer their question that's pre-written. I just copy, paste, and change their name. And that was quickly replicable. It took me a couple seconds to do it. It sounds like I wrote it specifically for them. That's the most important part. It's not a corporate email that's like, we are so happy to serve you today. It is our pleasure to be at your service, like Comcast does when you call their customer service. And it's like, no, it's not. No one's happy to be at anyone's service. That's BS. So how do we say this while sounding human? And I just write it as if I'm having a conversation with somebody. You don't have to worry about perfect grammar. Don't have bad grammar, but I might have, high five as a sentence in my paragraph, for example, or use an emoji, something like that. You can add personality to it. It doesn't have to be diction perfect. Make it readable and sound like you're intelligent, but make it real. Make it sound real, and then save these templates. You don't need to sit down and brainstorm every possible conversation you're ever going to have right now. As you start to repeat conversations, you'll think, oh, I responded to one like that last week. Go back to that email or that message, copy paste that message, change the name, and send it. Now add that to your log of template messages that you can send in the future. Then you'll have this log of messages that you can send. It will save you a ton of time and still sound real. And that's the idea. We want to serve as many people as we can and sound like ourselves, not like corporate robots. So there you go. That's how to respond to photography clients. Respond on the channel they contacted you first. Engage there a little bit before you invite them to a phone call. Number 2, use this as an opportunity to pre-screen your clients. If they don't sound like a good fit, do not invite them to the next phase. And number 3, sound as human as possible while being as replicable as possible. You're going to answer the same things over and over and over again, I promise. So save those responses as an easily accessible template and use them to save you tons of time. Now, once you've got the conversation done and you need to get people into a phone call so you can lead their consultation and book them, I can show you exactly how to do that. Head to boudoirguild.com and I have a training on my consult process. It is my phone script. It is what I do with every one of my leads that comes in, and it's how I book so many clients. I give you my script. I tell you why and how I do everything, and you can just take what I do, replicate it, still sound human, and start booking clients without having to figure that part out on your own. It is magic. You are amazing. I'll see you inside.